Hey there, Fletch from All Things Overlanding here, and if you guys have not already seen the video that I did on all the features and kind of how the Zero Breeze works, you should definitely go check that out. I'll put a card up here in the top right corner to that. But today's video is about seeing it in action. I'm going to use it tonight. I've used it a bunch over the last couple of months and been testing it out, and I'm going to be telling you guys my thoughts on it, right? So we're going to be kind of testing it out tonight. So if you want to see more on how the Zero Breeze does in 70-degree weather, it's 68 degrees right now out here. How much will it cool down the tent? Will it make it nice and comfortable and down in like the 50s where it's nice to sleep? Or will it be hot? So let's test it out.
Understand where it came from, but you got it, my got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip.
All right, guys, so it is nighttime, as you can see. It's very dark outside. I am getting ready to go to bed. I've got the Zero Breeze here. Kind of my plan is I'm going to go ahead and throw the attachment piece on here, and I'm going to throw a tube on it, and then I'm going to leave it sitting on my tailgate, and I'm just going to run the tube up into my rooftop tent up here so that the cold air goes up in there, and I'm just going to turn it on. It does have a remote too, so I'm going to take that up into the tent with me so that I can control it. If I need to turn it down or something, it might get too cold because it is, again, about 68 right now, almost 70 degrees. And I do want to cool it down, but I also don't want to freeze to death up there. I don't want it to be in the 40s. So I'm going to turn it on, and we're going to get in the tent, and we're going to see how this goes. I'm going to give it a little bit of time, let it cool down, let it start pumping cold air into the tent, and we'll see what happens. So again, I'm going to give you kind of my thoughts on it. I'm going to give you my feelings on it. I'm going to talk a little bit about the thing. So let's get it going. All right, so first things first, I have not charged this thing, and it has been sitting in my office for a couple of weeks now while I was on another trip. And it has 4 out of 5 LEDs illuminated, so the battery's held up really well despite sort of, you know, not being charged in several weeks. So one thing to note is that the battery does hold charge pretty well. I'm going to hook up the drain tube here to the back of it just so that the water will run off the bed of the truck and not, you know, go everywhere. So I'm just going to hook that up right back there. Again, you could put this in your tent. So if you had a Gazelle or something like that, if you had a rooftop tent like I do and you wanted to hook it up, you could do that too. My sort of plan though is just to leave it on the tailgate, hook up the hose on the front here, let the drain tube take the water out the side, and then literally just run it up into my tent up there. So let's get the attachment piece here. Let's hook that up and then let's see how that goes. So just FYI, when screwing this in, it's actually reverse. It's lefty tighty, righty loosey. Now one concern is that there is my rooftop tent and it just barely reaches. So probably what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to lift this up onto my drawer system here to get another couple feet. And then I think that should give me just enough to zip it into my screen there. And then I'm going to zip up my inside of my rooftop tent and I'm going to get it running. All right, so all the times that I've run it, I've basically just put this whole unit in my rooftop tent, put the drain tube out the side of the rooftop tent and sort of faced the exhaust vents towards the outside of the tent and then just blown the cold air straight into the tent. And that works great. It actually works really fine. It's probably not quite as efficient as this method, but that's why I wanted to try it this way. So now that I've thrown it up here on top of my drawer system, you can see I've got the drainage tube going down between the tailgate and the bed of the truck so that all that water is just going to go out on the ground. Then I've got the tube going up into the rooftop tent, and I'm just going to turn it on basically, and then I'm going to zip up the inside of the rooftop tent so that it is pretty much sealed and just has cold air blasting into it, and then we're going to see how it goes. All right, so I have turned the unit on. I just put it on AC mode, and I put it to about 3 out of 5 bars. So I'm up in the tent. I have zipped up my side windows almost all the way, basically just left a little vent on both sides. Now the back one is still totally open just because I didn't close the back flap. So there's a moth right there. But I do have the tube zipped up into there. And it is just blasting cold air. It's really nice. So like again, I've used this thing quite a bit. But most of the time I just set it right here and then kind of just blast. I open this whole door up with the screen closed, and then I basically just blast the exhaust air out and I just let the cold air come in. So usually I would have this door open and then everything else closed up, and I would just let it blast. But that's kind of the lazy way. This is probably, again, the actual correct way to do it. And I will say it basically, if you've had a diesel heater, it's the exact same thing, but in reverse. So it's 11 p.m. and it's about 66 degrees outside. But I mean, this air that's blowing out of here is just so refreshing and nice and cold. So like, just to have like basically, again, a reverse diesel heater that is going to blow nice, icy, cold air into your tent is a game changer. Like, this thing is amazing. So especially if you lived out west, if you're in the desert, something like that, this would definitely extend your season. Again, for me, I like to go fall and winter camping primarily. It is the middle of July right now, July 22nd. And I would normally not be caught dead out here. I've sweated my butt off all afternoon. I've shot a bunch of videos. I've been sitting around a fire and I had to back up because I was too hot. And man, it is so refreshing and nice to just be sitting in here with this cold air blowing in from outside. The whole unit is outside. It's all battery powered. If it shuts off in the middle of the night, by then, hopefully it'll be down in the 50s and it won't be so bad. So again, is it worth it? Yes. If you are in certain situations a lot, or if you want to extend your season, man, this thing is so easy to use and so nice. And the fact that it's all self-contained is also nice. I did bring the AC controller and I brought a big portable power bank. So worst case, like let's say this dies 2 hours from now, which it won't. But if it did and I really wanted to extend my life, my plan was just to literally plug it into a power bank and extend it, just basically run it off the power bank. So if it shuts off at 2 in the morning, that's fine by then. Hopefully it will be cool enough, but the zero breeze is blasting cold air into my tent. I'm loving it. It is seriously a game changer. And the cool thing too is, like, if you're a ground tent camper, if you're a hammock camper, you could use this for anything, right? Like, you could literally set this thing on the ground under your tarp or whatever. If you're in a hammock, for example, I'm a hammock camper when I'm not in my rooftop tent. You could set this thing on the ground under your tarp so it's protected from the elements. You could take this tube and you could pump it up into your hammock. You could literally zip it. So I have an all-in-one hammock that has fabric in the bottom. You basically sleep in it and has a built-in bug net. Same exact way that I've got it piped into my rooftop tent right now. You could just zip it into your bug net on your hammock and you could have cold air blasting into your hammock right into the side of you, keeping you cool in these hot temps. It's really pretty cool. So, I mean, yes, is it pricey? Of course. We all know that $1,500, $1,000 to $1,500 is a lot of money, but man, it has opened up a whole new season. Like, I would never be caught dead going camping in July, but with this thing, man, it is so nice. I'm going to lay down right now. I'm going to watch some shows on my iPad. I'm going to hang out. I'm going to go to sleep in a little bit, and then I'm going to sleep like a baby. I just know it because it's so comfy and nice. So again, if it makes sense for you, if you have the need for it, if you want to extend your season, if you live in a place where it's really hot and stuff, absolutely, totally worth it. Plus, not to mention, they hold their resale value really well. I've seen people selling, the $1,500 unit with the battery and the thing for like $1,100, $1,200. It's like, use it for a couple years and then sell it for $1,200 if you don't like it. It's fine, but God, it's just such a game changer. I'm so excited because I literally from like March to September, I don't go camping. And now it's July and I'm here in Hoosier National Forest. I've been sweating all day and I'm actually getting cool in my tent, which is awesome. So again, awesome product. Definitely check it out. I'll put a link in the description down below. Also in the description down below will be links to all my other social channels. So wherever you want to hang out, I'd love to have you. Come join the conversation wherever you want. There are also links to my website where I've got patches and stickers, and they're overlanding and camping funny patches and stickers, so definitely go check those out. And then last but not least, I've got a link to my Patreon page where we have a 24/7 Discord and we do a once-a-month Zoom call to kind of chat about our rigs and our gear and stuff like that. It's awesome. And there's the Newbie Overlanders Facebook group. So again, totally free to join. Over 13,000 members, growing every day. Just tons and tons of people trying to help each other out, not trying to be jerks, right? So if you want a way to ask questions and learn stuff about overlanding, that'd be a great place for you. But again, thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. I hope that gave you some information on the Zero Breeze and whether it makes sense for your setup and sort of your type of camping. And if so, click that like button. And if you're not already, make sure to click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified when new videos drop. I do a couple every week, and I have a podcast that drops every week too. So subscribe wherever you want. I'd love to have you. But again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.